Hello everyone, my name is Sutton the Wolf and welcome back to Memories Dogma Code 1. The game's getting all deep on us. We're now finding out why Sotono did the things she does. We found out that Sotono had a choice between delaying the, not destruction of the world, but Mikoto described some kind of malice that was spreading throughout the world, and said that was going to end up affecting the world in a negative way. And Sotono had two options. She could either sacrifice herself and make it go faster, or she could delay it while keeping herself alive. However, we also found out that if she were to keep herself alive, that would mean Hiroki would die. So, for whatever reason, Sotono kept us alive and sacrificed herself. So, we are trying to figure out what the reasoning behind that decision was, and what the actual truth behind Sotono's motives is, etc. So we're going to ask her herself, because we still have access to her memories. So, Reina and I are going to do that. I go to turn on my MRD, only to remember that I'd forgotten something very important. Crap, I forgot it was out of batteries. Well, that was anticlimactic. Really? Yeah, I was planning on charging it last night, but then those guys showed up. Oh yeah, I seem to remember something about us going to charge it and then getting distracted. Either that or I'm just thinking that and it is a false memory. I see. Well, we can hardly go back to Aoi-san's house right now. Isn't there some place where I could just charge it? We'll have to find a charging spot. Charging spots are locations where you can quickly charge your MRD. They're usually located in places people pass through often, like stations, public facilities, large shopping centers, universities, and along streetlights. I believe there should be one at the department store. It's not that far from here either. If we're going to use a charging spot, then we'll have to go through some main streets. I prefer not to go to places where there's a lot of people. It's been a good amount of time since the police sent out a wanted notice for us. There's a pretty good chance someone will recognize our faces from the wanted posters by now. It'll be risky, but there aren't any other options. If nothing else, we should at least get close to check out the situation. Alright, let's do it. It's true that I can't really think of any other way to charge my MRD. And if I can't charge my MRD, then I can't talk to Sotono. We start heading for a street that is a charging spot. Okay, we're in front of Zelkova again. Either that or they're just renewing this art. We cross the signal in front of the shrine and head west down a road with a sign that reads Fuchu. At the corner of the first intersection are 3 charging spots, and fortunately there's no one else there. We walk quickly towards the charging spots while trying to avoid standing out. I head to the one on the far right and place my MRD on the elliptical plate. It'll leave a record, Dana mutters unhappily. It's true that if I use this charging spot, that it'll leave a record of which terminal I used and at what time. I know it'll be traced, but as long as we can evade the authorities for a few more days, that's all I need. Alright, I'll keep a lookout then. Thanks. I start charging. Watch it not let us charge. Oh. I was gonna say, shouldn't it be able to, read that it's hours and then just shut it down? An AR display pops up saying 10 minutes remaining. I think back to one of my professors talking about how it used to take hours to charge things back in the day. Compared to those days, charging is a lot faster now. But right now, even those 10 minutes feels like a lifetime. How's everything looking? Nothing unusual so far. I casually glance around the street and see crowds of people walking down it. Thanks to the aftermath of that explosion a few days back, a good number of side streets leading to Fuchu Station are still blocked off. In addition, Fuchu Station itself is closed off. Despite all of that, it feels like there's even more people here than usual for a weekend. There sure are a lot of people out today. That's probably bad. Looks like something's caught Dana's attention. I follow her gaze and see a group of yukata-clad girls walking down the street. Oh yeah, there's a festival here tonight. Oh, are we gonna get to go to a festival? That would be a nice change of pace. A summer festival to herald the season's end. There's going to be a fireworks festival at the Tama River, and there's a bunch of stalls lined up in the area. Sutton and I used to love going to this festival every year, so Kakadu and I would get dragged along every time. Festivals seem like they'd be a lot of fun. I really like how colorful the yukatas are too. Dana seems bewitched as she stares at the girls walking by. Looks like Dana's got an interest in yukatas. You can just wear a yukata too if you want, you know. Please don't make it sound so simple. It takes a lot of courage to wear a yukata. Not really. I mean, they sell some pretty cheap ones, so they're not too hard to get. That is not what she's talking about, dude. That's not the problem. I'm not sure if I'd be able to pull it off properly. Oh, please. Dana turns away as she says that. So she's just worried she won't look good in one, but she can't bring herself to say it straight up. After thinking about it for a bit, I finally speak up. I think you'd look good in one. You're just saying that to be nice. Dana's looking more and more embarrassed. I really do think one would look good on you, though. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. We both wait around awkwardly for my MRD to finish charging. Excuse me, do you have a minute? Suddenly I hear a voice behind me. I turn around and see a kindly old lady standing behind me. The looks can be deceiving. She might be a JCO agent or with the police. Dana and I tense up. Yes? I step forward, trying to block Dana from her line of sight. The old lady pulls out a map on her MRD and asks, how do I get to this community center? Oh, she's just asking for directions. I try to keep my face hidden as much as possible as I direct her, and then return to the charging spot. That may have been bad. It was an innocuous conversation, but it still left me exhausted. I let out a long sigh as Dana pats my back a little to comfort me. If you're that nervous, even people who don't suspect us will start to suspect us. Well, it just feels like she was trying to get a good look at my face. It's just your imagination. Oh god. When games say that, that means it's probably something bad is gonna happen. She just looked like a lost old lady to me. I mean, it's a middle-aged woman. I wouldn't exactly say old. Well, I guess you're right. The moment you start suspecting one person, you start thinking everyone that passes. Families, students, literally everyone is staring at you and whispering. Don't worry. If anything, having this many people around is better for us. People won't be scrutinizing each face that passes them by because there's so many people. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you're probably right. Now that I think about it, it's not like I really study the face of everyone I pass when I'm walking down this street normally either. However, anyone who's acting even a little strange will instantly attract attention. So it'll be better to just act naturally to avoid standing out, and something's gonna happen. Wait. Dana's typo. Dana's voice turns grim. Look over there, at the crosswalk. Dana doesn't shift her gaze at all and points with her finger. I take a sidelong glance in the direction that Dana's pointing, and I see a police officer heading towards us. This is bad. Let's go. I check the area display and see my MRD is already 82% charged. It'll only take one more minute to fully charge, but we don't really have time to wait that long. Let's go. This much charge should last us for now. I take my MRD off the plate and put it back on my left wrist. Let's try to just casually walk past him. Dana nods silently. The police officer finishes crossing the street and starts approaching us. We leave the charging spot and try to pass right by him, but... Suddenly, I feel something grab my left hand. I've been focusing my whole attention on the police officer, so I jump in surprise. Oh, it's the Dana holding her arm. I look over and see Dana's hand holding mine. Just keep going like this. Go all the way to the intersection and cross the crosswalk. Alright. While we're talking, I see the police officer start up his MRD out of the corner of my eye. Looks like he's contacting someone. Shite. Don't tell me he's realized who we are. I'm about to break into a run, but Dana stops me. Calm down. We'll be fine if we just keep walking calmly like this. Got it. Sorry. The signal's about to change. Let's speed up a bit. We speed up a little as the signal starts to flash that it's about to change, and it's barely crossing time. Alright, we managed to put a whole intersection's distance between us and that police officer. We should probably move to the side streets now. Yeah, you're right. Jeez, this game is really good at making these things just like incredibly tense. Ugh. Jeez. I pull Elena with me down one of the side streets. Oh no. Music change. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be like, we found him! And then we're just gonna start running. But alright. This game, I've said this before, but this game does a pretty decent job of like handling tension. Like, it doesn't get fully ridiculously climactic that often. Like, it's actually a very slow-paced game. The actiony parts are extremely action-filled, but in between that, there's a lot of filler that can be lighthearted or deep, and there's filler that can be like just really tense. That's not really filler though. This isn't really filler. What's going on right now? This is just really tense. It's by filler I meant like points in between the like major actiony points. So I think this game does a really good job of handling those. We put as much distance between us and the main street as we can and stop at a small park on the outskirts of town. There's a few families in the center of the park where the playground is, but the water fountain and the clearing and the trees are completely empty, so we hide ourselves there. We should be fine now. People probably won't come here, so we can talk here without getting interrupted. I'm still holding hands with Dana. I'm not sure if I should let go now or not. I stare at Dana's hand and realize that she's staring at mine too. No reason to apologize, just say thank you. Thank you, Dana. For what? Your quick thinking is what got us out of there, so thank you. I didn't really do much. I'm just glad it worked out. We smile at each other, and eventually let go of each other's hands. Well, no reason to just stand here. Let's sit down. Yeah. I sit down on one of the chairs near the water fountain. Dana sits down on one of the chairs across from me. The sound of the water is quite pleasing, and I watch the jet spray out over and over. You know, one thing I was wondering about is there are some decisions in this game where it's, okay, one's right, one's wrong. If you get wrong, then you get a game over, and if you do right, then the story just continues. But then there are these other decisions, like the one we just had, where we like decide what to say, and most of them are to do with Dana. So I'm wondering if those actually have any effect on the story. Like, I would assume they do, right? But usually it would be either not that big of a deal, or it would be like something subtly would change. But I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell if it's actually changed anything. Because if we had said sorry, then it probably would have been awkward. I don't know. I wonder. Maybe I'll do a little bit of research off camera and see, like, oh, if you pick this, then this would have happened, like, just in the things that I've done in the past. But I'd probably want to wait until I finish the game to do that. Now then, I take a deep breath. The time has finally come to ask Sutton. However, I hesitate to touch my MRD. I'm scared of turning it on. Even though I've spent so much time with Sutton, I'm afraid a completely different girl is going to show up in front of me. A completely new sense of nervousness assails me. It's alright. You don't need to be afraid. Looks like Dana senses my hesitation. I strengthen my resolve and turn on my MRD to call Sutton. That's pretty good timing. We're going to leave that there, guys. Alright. It looks like we're going to have this little... This is probably going to be like in a bit of a falling tension kind of thing. Because that scene was really, really tense. God, I have to like recompose myself after that. This game does a really, really good job of handling tension. Like manipulating you to make you feel tense or like feel relieved or whatever. This game is very good with emotions and I like that. I like that a lot. But regardless, I'm probably going to do one more episode in this session and then call it a day. But we'll see. So that is going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below. I will always read them and I will always take into account. And as always, I will see you guys next time for another episode of Memories Dogma Code 1.